The Black Sea has always been a place of shadows. A place where empires rose, where fleets vanished, where alliances were forged and broken on its restless waters. But never in modern history has the Black Sea witnessed a night like this one. It was 3:14 a.m. when the water lit up like a second sunrise. A Ukrainian naval drone, small, silent, and unmanned, smashed into a Russian Shadow Fleet oil tanker. The explosion was so fierce that satellites picked up the heat signature within seconds. And yet, this was only the beginning. Tonight, you will journey inside the operation that changed naval warfare forever. A mission carried out under darkness, powered by intelligence, innovation, and absolute precision. A strike against Russia's secret oil lifeline, the Shadow Fleet that funds the Kremlin's war machine. This is the story of an ocean battlefield where giants burn and ghosts win. Chapter 1: What is the Shadow Fleet? To understand why Ukraine targeted these tankers, we must first understand what the Shadow Fleet really is. When Russia was hit with international sanctions, it faced a major problem. Its economy is fueled by oil. Without selling crude, Russia cannot sustain its military. So Moscow built a secret network. A fleet of old, unregulated oil tankers, many more than 20 years old, purchased through shell companies in Dubai, Hong Kong, Singapore, Cyprus, Turkey. Ships with painted-over names. Ships that turn off GPS. Ships that falsify their logs. Ships that hover in international waters like ghosts. Together, these tankers transport millions of barrels of sanctioned Russian crude, earning billions of dollars outside official monitoring. The Shadow Fleet does not follow rules. It does not follow safety standards. It does not appear on public shipping routes. It slips through the Black Sea at night, escorted only by silence. But Ukraine saw a weakness. The fleet depended on secrecy. And Ukraine set out to expose it. Chapter 2: The Rise of Naval Drones. Before the war, naval drones were experimental projects. Small prototypes tested in calm waters, limited by battery life, range, and payload. But the invasion forced Ukraine to innovate. Within 2 years, the country built a new generation of naval drones, long-range, high-speed, stealth-coated machines capable of carrying massive explosive payloads. Called Sea Babies, Maguras, and Sea Ghosts, these drones changed everything. They could travel more than 800 kilometers. Operate entirely unmanned. Move low against the waves to avoid radar. And hit with the force of anti-ship missiles. While Russia deployed billion-dollar warships, Ukraine sent $50,000 naval drones that could sink them. This asymmetry shook the Black Sea. One by one, Russian landing ships were hit. Then patrol boats. Then missile frigates. But the boldest operation was yet to come. A strike on the Shadow Fleet itself. Chapter 3: Intelligence Breakthrough. Weeks before the strike, satellite analysts noticed unusual activity. 2 oil tankers, officially decommissioned, had been repainted and reactivated. Their transponders turned on briefly, then vanished again. Signals intercepted from Russian maritime channels hinted that these tankers were part of an urgent operation to move large quantities of crude. Ukraine's intelligence agency, the GUR, began piecing together the puzzle. By cross-referencing satellite imagery, AIS ghost signatures, and intercepted Russian communication, analysts realized one thing. A major secret oil transfer was happening soon. This meant Russia was rushing to sell sanctioned crude before new international restrictions kicked in. The tankers would likely travel at night. Their escorts would be minimal. Their defenses weak. And Ukraine saw an opportunity that may not come again. Chapter 4: The Command Room. Deep beneath the coastal city lies an underground base known only to a handful of people. Concrete walls reinforced to withstand missile strikes. Miles of cables. Rows of screens. Maps of the Black Sea projected in red and blue. Hours before the strike, Ukrainian naval officers gathered in the dimly lit command center. A large digital board displayed real-time satellite feeds. Analysts whispered updates. Engineers monitored drone health. The atmosphere felt like the calm before a storm. A silent tension. A sense that history was about to unfold. The lead operator issued the final command. Launch. Chapter 5, The Launch. At 2:47 a.m., a small rectangular cargo container was lowered into the water. It looked harmless, a floating box bobbing gently with the waves. Inside it was a naval drone, powered by electric motors and a fuel cell hybrid system. Designed to run with minimal noise. Designed to be invisible. The moment the container opened, the drone slid into the sea like a predator released into the wild. Its engine activated. The onboard computer locked onto coordinates. A green light blinked. And the drone began its journey. Chapter 6, Navigating the Black Sea. This part of the mission was the most dangerous. Russian radars scanned constantly for anomalies. Patrol ships cruised along key corridors. Electronic warfare stations listened for unusual signals. But the drone's design allowed it to slip between radar beams. At low height, its reflection blended with the sea clutter. Its small thermal signature made it appear like a drifting log. It moved fast, 35 to 40 knots. Far faster than any traditional unmanned vessel. But most importantly, its control was hybrid. Partially autonomous to avoid jamming. Partially remote-guided using a tight-beam satellite link. Every few minutes, the command center adjusted its course by mere degrees. A silent dance between human and machine. Closer. Closer. Closer to the target. Chapter 7, The Shadow Fleet in Sight. At 3:10 a.m., the tanker appeared on the drone's camera. A massive steel giant, 250 meters long, drifting slowly with dim navigation lights, barely visible through the night haze. These tankers operate differently from commercial ones. They shut off transponders. They dim their lights. They avoid main routes. Their crews rarely communicate. The drone's camera zoomed in. Rust. Repainted numbers. A faint outline of a previous name. This was unmistakably a Shadow Fleet vessel. Inside the command center, someone whispered. We have visual. Chapter 8, Final Approach. The drone dropped to minimum profile, half submerged, creating almost no wake. Its camera focused on the tanker's midsection, the most vulnerable point. Behind that steel wall. Thousands of tons of crude oil. Enough to fuel weeks of Russian operations. Enough to create a fireball that could be seen for miles. The operator inhaled. The final command appeared on the screen. Arm payload. A digital click. A red light activated. The drone accelerated. 40 knots. 45 knots. 50 knots. Straight toward the massive hull. Chapter 9, The Impact. At 3:14 and 58 seconds a.m., the drone struck the tanker. The explosion tore through the night. A white flash. A thunderous blast. Shrapnel burst outward. The tanker's steel frame buckled. Within seconds, a fireball erupted through its deck, shooting flames into the sky. The quiet Black Sea turned into a burning battlefield. Russian crews scrambled. Panic. Chaos. Confusion. But the mission wasn't over. Because Ukraine had launched 2 drones. By the time the fire from the Shadow Fleet tankers faded into the morning mist, one truth had become impossible to ignore: something had changed in the Black Sea. Chapter 10 marks the moment the world realized this wasn't just another Ukrainian drone strike, this was the beginning of a new war format. Satellite photos showed the aftermath clearly: 2 massive tankers crippled, smoke twisting upward like a warning sign. Russia scrambled ships to contain the damage, but the impact had already spread beyond the explosions. Financial markets trembled. Intelligence agencies across Europe went on alert. And Russia's naval command issued an emergency broadcast instructing convoys to alter course immediately. The strike didn't just hit steel. It hit the entire Shadow Fleet system, the secret economic lifeline designed to keep Russia's war effort fueled. In one night, that lifeline was exposed, and suddenly every hidden tanker became a potential target. But Ukraine wasn't celebrating. They were already moving on to the next phase. Inside a secure facility near Odessa, engineers analyzed the drone's final data stream, adjusting algorithms, refining the next model, and preparing for strikes deeper into contested waters. What Russia saw as an isolated attack, Ukraine saw as a field test. NATO analysts quickly concluded the same thing: the Black Sea had entered a new era. Old naval rules no longer applied. Massive warships had become slow, expensive, predictable targets, while drones costing less than a patrol boat's fuel budget were rewriting strategy in real time. And as the world debated how far the conflict could escalate, Ukraine's message was simple: the Shadow Fleet is no longer invisible.